All right, welcome. I'm gonna do a weekly forecast every week now, and let's just get straight into it. As we can see, kind of want to start out with dollar. We're just gonna go top down of like everything and kind of just see where we're at. So we see dollar. Where do we come from? We came from this imbalance. We have swept these lows here. We come back down, constant of this wick, and right now I'm expecting to see some form of expansion in this monthly SIPI right here. This monthly SIBI, I think, is a nice draw on liquidity. We've already mitigated it. We've already come into it before. So a better draw on liquidity for me would be this high right here. So as you can see, as of right now, I think it would be more favorable for us to get displacement up to this high here on the monthly than it would be come all the way back down and take this low. If we go into the weekly, what is the weekly chart doing? As you can see here, we have weekly down close candles that are supporting price. Kind of have these three down close candles. Is that a monthly order block? No, it's not. So we've had this monthly order block that is supported price. And if we go out to the weekly, kind of have these three weekly down close candles that have been supporting price. So I'm expecting to see a run on these highs still. But as we see, this delivery has just been a little bit, a little bit tricky in my opinion. As you see here, we have standard deviation that we could maybe map out. -1, -1.5. We have that weekly SIBI right there. I'm looking for these highs for sure. And as we can see, order flow right now is bullish. We have this weekly down close candle that we've respected nicely. We have swept liquidity here. So in terms of a weekly chart, I don't really think that we need to head any lower. And if we do start displacing lower, that's not bullish. That is bearish in my opinion. So we have this weekly imbalance that I did want to see a while ago. I did want to see us return to this. We kind of engineered a low right above that. So if we do end up taking the draw on liquidity here, I think that we would have some good objectives for the downside, but that's obviously in a long time. So as we see right now, what are we doing? Order flow is bullish here, and we do have these stacked highs here. So I want to see kind of what we do here. I would love to see if we are bullish, kind of just quick expansion on dollar here. We're within this order block here, within around like that 75% of this market maker model. If we were to swing grade this, we'd probably be in that silver bullet area right here. So I would want to see a quick snappy expansion to these equal highs here if we are bullish. But if we kind of meander around here, I don't know. I wouldn't be as interested in this in this fractal price. But as you see here, you kind of have your market maker model. You have smart money reversal. You have your lower risk entry, you have first stage, and then possible second stage distribution right here up to buy side here. We zoom into the 4 hour, so you kind of get a gauge of what the 4 hour is doing currently. So right now we have come back down to this fair value gap, and we kind of failed to make a fair value gap higher. So I think we could see this low get breached. We have this kind of order block right here, so I'd be looking at this area in price. And I want to see if this area or if this leg of price is going to support. I would like to see that as a early weekly Monday drop down into here Tuesday, and then we get expansion like that. That's what I'd like to see on dollar. Okay, let's head into indices. First ES. So it is about to be a new month. I believe it was the last trading day of the year, so we have a new monthly candle opening up. So with that being said, we're gonna have a monthly order block here. What kind of a monthly order block? So I want to see what this next monthly candle is gonna do, and honestly, I'm not too sure. We're at all-time highs. We could want to form a fair value gap here on the monthly chart, and we'll see what we want to do. If we don't make a fair value gap on the monthly, I think that's a bearish signature, and we could look for us to trade back down to these three down close candles there. So monthly candle opening, we have that weekly order block, and if we look at the weekly candle here, we just closed this candle right here. So this now has become a swing high on the weekly. So that's something to note here. So this could offer us short-term retracement into this weekly imbalance here. So this is kind of what I'm looking for. I want to see this weekly imbalance at least for ES here. We have a weekly imbalance here. We have formed a I don't know what that did. We have formed a weekly swing high here. And we can drop down to the lower time frames to just kind of see what we have left. Kind of these equal highs here, and more or less we are just consolidating within this range. Notice this for value gap here. Notice this for value gap here. We are not displacing from this for value gap. We are failing to. We're in this for value gap, 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 for value gap. We're failing to really meaningfully displace. We kind of had this big wick here, and then we instantly rejected lower. So if we're looking at this in terms of a daily perspective, in this daily fair value gap, this doesn't look too bullish in my opinion. This doesn't look too bullish. I do want to anchor this IPTA because I have been backtesting this a little bit, and I just want to see because what we possibly could be looking at areas in terms of liquidity perspective. So as you can see here, we are in a deep premium. I wouldn't be too opposed to possibly seeing a market structure shift here on the daily chart sometime soon. We're about to approach that 20-day mark. So there's that. Let's look at the 4-hour chart. As you can see here, we have this nice 4-hour imbalance that we have beautifully kind of respected, more or less. I would say we came up right to these last up close candles right there. And now we're starting to reject here. I want to see how Monday plays out. I always like to see how Monday does. What Monday does in price. So I'm looking for this area of liquidity here. Is in that weekly imbalance. And that's possibly what we could end up seeing here. But this for value gap, just notice how we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times for us to not head higher off that. So if we really want to go higher off that, we probably would. And if you guys have been in my other forecasts, you know that I want to see this order block get traded to. So that's kind of just my early objective here. But if you look at the 4-hour chart and just what the 4-hour chart is telling us, we have wicks at the highs and wicks at the lows. That just doesn't show strong direction, you know. We have taken buy stops here, and we have more sell side liquidity resting below us than we do have buy side liquidity. So overall, I'm framing a run on sell side liquidity for this next week. I want to see, does this order block possibly support price? If it does, then we could see a run to look to. Did we create an imbalance here? Not really. Yeah, so I'm looking for these objectives early in the week. All right, now let's look at NASDAQ. Let's go out to the monthly chart. Same kind of thing. We could have a monthly order block here. On the weekly, another a swing high has formed within the market. We have this for value gap that we have mitigated already. And in terms of NQ, I'm looking for this to be a possible objective within the next three weeks. Within the next 3 weeks, I don't know if it'll happen this next week. We could have more consolidation, but as you can see, we've had two consolidation candles here. Not really doing much on the weekly candles. So therefore, this next candle here could be expansion if we do want to expand within the market, or it could be displacement if we want to see displacement within the market. So this could prime us up for some expansion or retracement here. So there's that. In terms of this chart here, I really do like these two down close candles here. I think that price will like to return to this area at some point. We have this daily imbalance here. So the fact that we were respecting this daily imbalance is pretty nice. It's pretty nice. In terms of objectives for me, I first have these equal lows here on NQ, and then I would like to look for maybe possibly this imbalance here within the next 3 weeks or 2 weeks. That's a little longer term bias there. We also could have a possible quarterly shift here. I do want to bring up this IPTA data range. If you draw it out from the first of the month here, We could possibly have a market structure shift, and then we could be looking for these areas in price there. And I also want to do it from this date. We're right at that 40-day projection. We're in a deep premium. I think that we could frame a quarterly shift here. So that's something to keep in mind. Now let's head up to the 4-hour chart. Look at this nice respect off this 4-hour imbalance here on NQ. And this looks pretty bearish. We have these lows generated right above an imbalance. So these lows are for sure going to be an early objective for me. And notice how we kind of just were, we had Monday low of week here. And then Friday we put a high of the week. And notice the sort of displacement and speed right there. So that shows me that we might want to reprice lower here. And then we might want to see these types of we definitely want to see these lows. That's my opinion. So got a good draw on liquidity going into the next week. So that is good to see. In terms of daily levels, I'm just looking for those lows. All right, YM. YM is a little bit difficult here. If we look at the monthly chart, we failed to come to this daily imbalance here. We have this kind of displacement right there on the monthly. If we come up to the weekly chart, we have a low resistance liquidity signature here. All these failure swings, and we have this possible order block here, or it's just not as clean. It's YM, you know. I don't really love trading YM. I just like kind of using it for occasional SMT. Gonna have this fair value gap here. I don't know what all of this is. It's kind of the same thing. We have fair value gap here, fair value gap here. I am not really gonna be looking at YM too much, honestly. We have this 4-hour fair value gap below market price here, so this could be a draw on liquidity there. And we have come into this fair value gap there. So we have equal lows generated above a fair value gap here. So that would be a higher, that would be a high probability draw on liquidity for me. All right. Are you kidding? Nah, my whole watch list I had isn't gonna be working here. All right. Oh, I think they got like combined here. All right. Let's look at gold. Let's look at gold here. Gold, same thing. Monthly chart. We put in a monthly swing high. We have this nice monthly imbalance here below market price. We're failing to displace higher. We're showing wicks here, wicks here, wick here. I think we could see this imbalance here. In terms of a weekly chart, again, failure swings within the market. We have this imbalance here that we likely want to reprice to. I'm looking for this low to be a draw on liquidity. Let's go up to the daily chart. See, we had nice reaction off this weekly order block. If we look at that on the daily chart, oh, look at that respect. I don't like gold. I don't really like gold at all. This is just consolidating here. We have this. If we are bearish, we should respect this fair value gap here. We should reject off this high here if we do want lower prices. But as you see here, we have fair value gap in, fair value gap out. That's kind of a bullish signature. So on this, got to be a little bit careful. I would like to see maybe this imbalance get traded too. It's in a discount of this leg. We just taking buy side liquidity, and price shouldn't really need to displace higher. So let's look at crude oil. Monthly, consolidating on the monthly. So keep in mind, but we have come back down to this down close candle here, and look at the respect to that. Just look at the respect to that level right there. So that tells me that we could be bullish here on CL, at least short term. We don't really have any other important levels there. We have a fair value gap in, fair value gap out. We have this breaker, this breaker that we kind of just tapped into here. I want to see these highs. I want to see this high here. That's my objective for CL. Let's see. We do have these fair value gaps here that could be a sort of short-term resistance there. I do have the bonds here. I'm not going to analyze them, but overall they are going down, so that could indicate, or sorry, they're not going down, but it's looking like we could see at least this low maybe on bonds, but so that would support bearish prices on indices. I had like commodities up here. I'm not gonna look too much into that. I do want to look at Bitcoin. I don't know. Bitcoin is just Bitcoin, you know. Here we have the weekly chart. It's just, I want to see this high, and now we're just consolidating here. So until we take, for me now, until we take this high or this low and then show some form of displacement after that, I'm just flat. I'm just flat on this. So I would like to see maybe this low and then something like that. But that just isn't as bullish because we failed to take these highs here. All right, now let's look at Euro USD. Euro USD. Okay. So we look at here. We are consolidating on the monthly, so keep in mind that if I were to trade this, gotta be a short-term trader, not looking to really hold on to trades and not really looking for much here. So, oh wait, is this? Look at the weekly chart. We do have this low here. Oops. It just doesn't look as clean on the weekly. Daily chart consolidation. We have this low here. Now we have this low here. Overall, I don't really care to touch this. Just doesn't look high probability. Yeah, we're just in a consolidation here. We come back down. We barely purged this low here. So I think that we might need to see another purge or another I think we could see this low here within the week. I think that could be a decent objective. Alright, now let's look at GU. If we look at GU on the weekly, or sorry, monthly first, we have this monthly down close candle that we've now just came into. So there's that. Two down close candles here. That's a bullish order block here on the weekly. We also have a weekly imbalance with that. So if we are to be bullish here, this would be a good area for us to be bullish there. We failed to respect that down close candle here, but we now have this possible candidate to be a down close candle. So if we do get displacement, I would like to see this get claimed as an order block, this get claimed as an order block, this get claimed as an order block. And I think that this could be a nice buy model here if we do want to displace higher. So theoretically, we're in a monthly level, so this level should get bought here. We should see some form of displacement. If we see displacement early on within the week, I would be bullish on this pair. All right, let's look at New Zealand dollar. Multi chart, kind of consolidating here. Something to note. Most of these dollar pairs are consolidating right now. Where have we come from? Bullish here. We come back, fair value gap here. Discount high there. That'll be a mitigation here on the daily. And I want to see us come within here. We've liquidated sell stops here. And do we possibly want to see higher prices? I really don't think that we want to see higher prices here. I think that this pair could just consolidate here. Normally, I would see this as to be bullish, but I honestly think that we could get a run on maybe these lows here. So I'm honestly not too bullish on this. But if we do get like a fair value gap made on the daily, like Wednesday, that would be pretty bullish there. Australian dollar consolidated weekly. We have these highs above market price. We have these down close candles. On the daily, just even more consolidation. We have come back down. We have taken this low here within an imbalance. Overall, that looks bullish. We could possibly see these highs here. Notice how we've generated liquidity right above that drawn liquidity. Overall, not something I'm too interested in. And I think that's it. I think that's all I really want to go over. So overall, on indices, I'm looking for this order block to be my first objective here on ES. On NQ, we have these failure streams within the market. I think that's the most probable drawn liquidity. As we see, just where's high resistance liquidity, where's low, like where's the market most likely to head within this next week? Well, we have taken buy side liquidity here. We've had displacement here. All this is just engineering liquidity for us to rebalance to this imbalance here. We have up close candles, then we have down close candles, and now we're respecting those up close candles within that range. We have buy side and then sell side. That's kind of like a balanced price range. We shouldn't really need to head higher. And look at the respect to that. If I do want to look at this real quick. I have been backtesting this a little bit more. I have been backtesting this a decent amount. Ooh, normally I put it on like Sunday's close, but this will give us just a good gauge, a decent gauge. Yeah, I'm definitely looking for these lows. I think that's the most probable draw on liquidity here for Nasdaq. Anyways, that's all I really got. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Oh, Eddie, if you're still in here, you're still trading demo. I haven't been trading at all. I've just been reading the tape. What type of progress you make this week? I don't know. I haven't really been measuring my progress too much. I guess I've just been learning. Just been still grinding. What about you? Keep at it, brother. Hey, appreciate it. You too, brother. All right, I'm gonna end stream. Hope you all have a good one, and hope you all have a good next week.